it's just worked out perfectly. You know, I'm delighted for them, delighted for Liverpool fans. And the thing I'm gutted about now is I can't actually see them. I can't see them actually enjoying it.
30 years of hurt, finally over. Let's talk to the man who was in the last Liverpool team to win the top-flight title. John Barnes, of course. You thought it might have been Liverpool's night. There's the smile. Congratulations. What a night for Liverpool Football Club.
Yes, an incredible night. And I must admit at the start, before I saw the Man City team, I thought, looking at the way they played in the last game, that they would have beaten Chelsea. But once I saw the team and they didn't have a recognised centre-forward, I knew they'd have lots of possession without creating many chances. So I was more hopeful. But it's great. But they haven't won the league tonight. You know, they've won the league in the performances they've actually put in and been so far ahead. So, yes, tonight is the night. And if it wasn't tonight, it may have been against Man City next week. And if it wasn't, it would have been. So, yeah, it's great. But I'm a little bit more excited than I was at the start. But I knew they were going to win the league. So the fact that it's finally happened now, yes, I'm happy. But I try and...
OK, we'll come back to John in a moment. He's that excited. He's frozen because it has been so long since his team, 30 years ago... Kenny to John in a moment. He's that excited. He's frozen because it has been so long since his team, 30 years ago, under Kenny Dalglish. 5 times, you know, they've been runners-up since then. Most recently, of course, last season and the Brendan Rodgers season with Steven Gerrard as well. But this year, as Ian correctly mentioned, 7 games to go. Nobody has done that ever in top-flight English history.
Yeah, nobody can say they don't deserve it, not just for what they are at the moment, but as you say, over the last 30 years, coming second so many times, I've been part of teams that have been striving to win that title. First of all, it was Manchester United in the way, then it was the likes of Arsenal, then Chelsea, and every time you felt as if you were getting closer and closer and it would just be taken away, and then you would win a cup, give you more confidence to go and win the Premier League again, and it just wouldn't happen. But finally, Liverpool have got their hands on that trophy. It's just great. I'm so happy for so many people. And Jurgen Klopp needs the biggest pat on the back of all because, you know, Brendan Rodgers got close. He had a great team. But this team now is... I mean, he will go down as an absolute legend of Liverpool Football Club for what he's done already. And the sky's the limit of what this team can do in the future as well. It's just an unbelievable moment.
Yeah, you were one of 240 players who tried since the last title to bring it to Liverpool before this team. John, just how special are this team? As I just said, they've won it in record-breaking time.
Yes, well, once again, it's not just about this season. If you look at what we did last season, Champions League winners lost 1 game all season. This is just a continuation of what we've actually done, the level of consistency. Michael was making the point about won the Champions League. Michael played in a team that won the FA Cup, those 5 trophies. But to win the league, you have to put in a consistent performance over the season. I never felt that Liverpool was capable of doing that, whereas for the last 2 years they have.
Thank you, John. We'll have more from John later on. Lots more reaction from former Liverpool and hopefully current squad members as well to the news that Liverpool are the new Premier League champions and they've won it in record-breaking time. There you go. 23 points clear, 28 wins from their 31 games, just that 1 blemish away at Watford and only 2 draws, and incredibly with a goal difference of 49. So Liverpool, Premier League champions and record breakers. Manchester City's defeat sealed it, and the celebrations within the social distancing rules are underway outside Anfield. Those supporters have waited 30 years for this moment. 4.5 years ago, when Jurgen Klopp walked through those Shankly gates, Liverpool were in 10th position in the Premier League. They're top of the tree again tonight. They are the Premier League champions. And that sounds good, Steve McManaman, pitchside at Stamford Bridge.
Can you see me? Sorry. Yes, I'm pitchside at Stamford Bridge. How are you, boys? You OK?
Well, what was that like to watch for you?
Well, it was nerve-wracking, actually, especially when Raheem Sterling went through and just hit the post to make it. It would have made it 2-1. The game would have changed on its head. But I think Frank Lampard deserves a lot of credit, actually. His substitutions were really good. He changed the way they played. Tammy Abraham went a little bit longer and he caused problems. And you know, you could start to relax, of course, when Fernandinho was sent off and then Williams smashes it into the top corner of the net. And you could sense it then. It was all over, wasn't it? Manchester City were out on the feet. They've had 3 hard games in the space of 8 days. And it told tonight. It was a very, as you all know, very hot and humid night here at Stamford Bridge.
You were with us in the studio beforehand. We talked about what it would mean. Now it's happened. What does it feel like?
Well, it feels great, doesn't it? You've got Michael there as well to suggest that. Fantastic for Liverpool, fantastic for all the fans and everybody concerned. They thoroughly deserve it. I think that goes without saying. They've won it really, really early in the season. They broke a record at Manchester United held, so that's always nice for the Liverpool fans. But they deserve a huge amount of credit. They've conducted themselves really, really well, Liverpool, this year. They played the right style of football, finishing off yesterday with a fantastic performance. They won the Champions League, they won the Super Cup, and then they went and won the World Club Trophy in Qatar, and then followed it up with a performance last night, and to win it here, while they can all sit in the couches and enjoy themselves and have a beer, no doubt. I think it's a fantastic way to win the Premier League.
Maka, just give us a word on Jurgen Klopp. I mean, he's obviously turned what is a potentially great team into the real deal. What do you think he's mainly done to change that?
Well, he's changed the way they play, Michael, hasn't he, of course, but I think you can't underestimate the players he's brought in and the people who have helped him bring in those type of players. When you look back to his first few games of his tenure, when you look at the team sheets, you can't believe that players there were still there playing for Liverpool. He's changed it all round. He's brought the right type of players in, and he's worked miracles, really. And
to do it after the disappointment in the league last season as well, to come back and produce the form they've done, right, it's something else, isn't it?
Well, that's why I believe that the Champions League and winning the Champions League is almost like it was a taster for this, as disrespectful as that may sound towards the Champions League, because then they could totally focus on the Premier League. They've won that. They've won that, what, 6 times now? So it's all about the Premier League. And like I said at the start of the show, the way Man City won the league last season with Liverpool missing out by a point, that must have been very, very difficult to take for a team to push them that far and not get anything. So the Champions League was great for them to get. But the fact is that they came back the next season off of the back of what they'd done the season before and literally blasted Manchester City off the pitch. They literally have. They blasted everybody off the pitch. They've almost said draws are not good enough. We're winning everything and we're not going to lose any games. OK, they lost the one game. I think they've drawn 2. But, it's been unbelievable, and that's why they've got the record. They've done it with 7 games to go.
Yeah, which is incredible. The record was 5. And Maka, to be 23 points ahead of that City team that pipped them last season and to bounce back in that manner is phenomenal.
Well, I think so, because if you would have asked me and if you would have asked the most ardent Liverpool fans in August at the start of the new season, I've said this on numerous occasions, Steve, after the disappointment of last year, they never really bought anybody in the transfer market. Their star players, the likes of the keeper, Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino, they all had hard summers in their respective countries playing for their national teams. So to start the season the way they did and to keep that tempo for as long as they did, it's absolutely exceptional. When you've played the game, like the boys sitting alongside you there in the studio, you know how hard it is to keep that tempo going for all of the season. Come trophies, travelling, you're winning trophies, you're back on the planes, you're cracking on again with the Premier League at the weekend, you're going away into Europe to play Champions League. To sustain that level the way they have done to this extent has been absolutely exceptional. I had to move there before, boys, by the way, because the Manchester City manager came and I had to get out of his way. So that's why I had to move away.
And there's Frank. Evening, Frank.
And there's another manager I've got in the way of. So.
Brilliant, Macca. I mean, I just can't believe, again, going back to Jurgen Klopp, I can't believe the way he just gets the best out of every player. As you say, everybody seems to have stayed fit. They've been on the top of the game. There seems to be no dips in form. But the way he gets even some players that you would consider 5, 6 years ago almost pretty average players, all of a sudden you look at them now and they're world class. I mean, he just gets the best out of that squad. And I can't think of a better manager in world football at the moment.
No, either can I. And as you said, everybody who's played, everybody who's put a Liverpool shirt on and played for he's improved every single one of them. Even when you go as far as, the academy players, every time they step up from academy level and go and train with the first team, he gets an extra 10, 20% out of them. The likes of Origi who have come in, not as battle-hardened as the front three, probably hasn't got the same quality as the front three, but when calls on, whether it's against Everton, whether it's his exploits in the Champions League, he has stood up and has countered and has made an addition to the brilliant team that Liverpool have got. And Jurgen Klopp and his staff have got a huge amount to play in that part.
Macca, before we let you go, we're going to bring you your good friend and former teammate Robbie Fowler in as well. The man, Liverpool fans, cool. God, look at that smile. They've finally done it, Robbie. How does it feel?
Well, I think I'm going to have to relinquish this God shout, and I think you're going to Jurgen. Jurgen can be called God now, can he?
He's the new God.
I let him have that. I let him have it. I mean, I actually feel brilliant to be fair. I know, look, we haven't played for Liverpool for a long time, but to be here and witnessing what we've witnessed is. I mean, I actually feel brilliant to be fair. I know, look, we haven't played for Liverpool for a long time, but to be here and witnessing what we've witnessed is, I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. It really is.
And you guys, as we were talking about, Macca, before the game, you tried so hard, you all got so close, you all felt that weight of expectation. That's gone tonight. The 30 years is over. They're champions.
Yeah, all you can do when you play for Liverpool, Steve, is to be successful, isn't it? Me and Robbie won trophies, of course we did, but this one eluded us. It's eluded a lot of players, as we all know, for the last 30 years. So to get it as well as the Champions League and the trophies I said before is brilliant, really. No one can look at Liverpool or the Liverpool fans and say, oh, they haven't won this trophy, they haven't won that trophy. They've won absolutely everything, and they've won it in the style of play that Liverpool are associated with, and I think that's the best thing. They've done it by entertaining, they've done it by playing exceptional football.
Brilliant stuff, Macca. Enjoy the evening. Thank you very much indeed. Robbie, just put into perspective what they've done this season. After last season, they've done it with 7 games to spare as well.
Steve, it's been incredible.
What they've done this season. After last season, they've done it with 7 games to spare as well.
Steve, it's been incredible. It really has. And when you think of Liverpool, I mean, they had a great start to the year. They had a really, really good November where they managed to just sneak a few wins against Palace and Villa, where they were, people were maybe questioning how good they were. Obviously, that was in the month of November when they also beat City as well. So they put them a little bit of a daylight. People were maybe questioning how good they were. Obviously, that was in the month of November when they also beat City as well. So they put them a little bit of a daylight in. So what they've achieved since then, and I mean, how many games they've won to the games they've played. People were sort of doubting them. Even the Everton game, when they saw they're not as good as what they have been. I mean, they've had 3 months off, and then to come back with that performance against Crystal Palace the other night was, I mean, that was an incredible performance. When you think there was no crowd there. The drive, the ambition, the everything that Liverpool produced was what you want to see at a championship winning team, in a Premiership winning team. And look, let's not forget, this season, the current European champions, the current world champions, and now they're the Premiership winners. So it's been a current European champions, to the current world champions, and now they're the Premiership winners. So it's been an incredible year being part of a Liverpool setup.
Yeah, right. You've been part of a team that's won the Premier League. Robbie's touching on mentality there.
Yeah.
Have you seen a stronger team in that sense in recent years than this Liverpool one?
I think that why you have to give them even more credit is because, like I say, to lose out by the point after chasing down a City side, let's face it, a City side that people have been saying are probably going to go on to dominate the Premier League for the next 5-6 years in the way that Pep was setting them up and what they were doing and their capabilities and what they were expected to achieve. And Liverpool, let's face it, out of in the time he's been there 4 years, and the last 2 especially, he's literally told them, I'm coming, and they've come. And last year they didn't quite do it, 1 point. This year they've done it by 23 points. Now, obviously, the boot's on the other foot in respect of them now going to it by 23 points. Now, obviously, the boot's on the other foot in respect of them now going to be chased because the marker they've put down, people are going to say, right, we're going to have to try and get to that level because I believe Manchester City brought Liverpool to that level because they realised what we're going to have to do to try and beat this team. And what they've done is surpassed everything. And so people are going to be coming for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's virtually impossible now for this team to get better. It's just a question, can they maintain it? How long can they maintain it for? I mean, no team goes this long and loses 1 game and draws 2 games in the league. I mean, it's potentially going to be the highest points total ever. I mean, you just can't get better than this. This team is flawless in every position. Look around the world. Who can get in this team? Jurgen Klopp can't buy anyone because they don't even get into this starting 11. So the big question now is, can they maintain it? But first and foremost, enjoy the moment. This is the first time in 30 years, so we won't look too far ahead. Yeah. But it's just a phenomenal team that, as I say, it's nearing on perfection.
Yeah. Robbie, you say Jurgen can be called God now. You've obviously dipped your toe into management. You're rebuilding. You're having success in a league. He came into a team that were 10th in the Premier League 4.5 years ago. Just give us an idea what he's done and what in magnitude he's done in that 4.5 years.
Well, it's interesting there, and the boys in there, and Michael was saying it before, I think whenever you are a Liverpool player or, you know, an Arsenal player, as right he was, if you go into every season with that belief and that attitude, you know, thinking you can do it, do you really believe that yourself? Of course you do, but then obviously things happen within the season where you realise that you're maybe not as good as the teams who are in the higher echelons, the teams who are winning the Premier League. But I think since Jurgen's been there, I think the belief that he's given to the players, and they really go into every game believing they'll win, believing that no one can touch them. You know, he's got the attitude absolutely spot on. And what he said 4 years ago, that he's going to bring, you know, Premier League to this club, I mean, he's absolutely nailed it. Because, I mean, Michael was saying there, you know, 4 years, he's been in the Europa League final, he's been in a Champions League final twice, obviously they've won it once, and now the Premier League. So I think the belief that he's instilled into them players has been nothing short of just like a phenomenal bit of management. It really is. I know tactically he's very good. But look, I can't stress how good his man management is. I think that is just probably what you need more than anything, you know, to bring out the best of the players, to bring out that little bit more. You know, players will run that extra 5-10 yards. Players will give you that little bit more. You know, they'll give you that little bit more in a tackle. It's just an incredible manager to be playing under. You know, and I would have loved to have played under, because I'm sure that he would have brought more out of me as a player as well.
Yeah, and obviously you, Michael, you're all from the area. That we've seen some managers come into Liverpool in recent times who weren't. He seemed to get the club, get the city, get the philosophy straight away. Yes, definitely. He's obviously done his own work on the city. He's done his own work on the club. You know, we all know the history of Liverpool and what they've won in terms of trophies from the football team. But he's certainly done his work on Liverpool, the city. He knows what the people are like. He knows what the people are about. And he's sort of like, he's dug into that, and he's grabbed them all, and it's as though he's took them all, you know, and got them in a big cuddle. What he does, and he's got everyone, not just the players, but everyone believing in what he's trying to achieve. And he's done that. So, I mean, for what he's done to the city, I mean, forget about the economics for the city, because that'll come up tenfold now. But I think just the lift that football, certainly in Liverpool, is
the lift that football gives to people of Liverpool is incredible. And now we are a Premier League winning team. I think the people will be absolutely buzzing and delighted for years. I mean, I know there's going to be talk of next year, but look, I think there's lots of partying and lots of celebrating to be doing now. I think, obviously in a sensible way.
Absolutely. After 30 years, I mean, we were talking with Macca earlier on. I mean, you boys won trebles. You were on top buses, open top tours through the city without winning the Premier League. We saw what they did with the Champions League last season. Robbie, give us an idea. I mean, all your family and friends, what this will do to people's lives.
It's everything. I mean, it's not what it'll do. It'll probably bring in a few more lives as well.